Hey, everybody, welcome back. Craig Shop here with our New York City film critic, Bob Garver. Bob is here. We are talking about movies. And Bob, it's the summer movie season already. We have kicked off, and we will catch up with a couple of movies before we get to our first big summer release. But first off, we have The Accountant 2. This is a sequel to the 2016 movie. So we're talking 9 years in between the sequel here and the first movie that starred Ben Affleck. Tell us a little bit about The Accountant 2.
Okay, well, Ben Affleck and John Bernthal are back as brothers who went through a somewhat traumatic childhood and are now both assassins. Bernthal, a straightforward assassin, Ben Affleck, an accountant with a side of assassin, because Ben Affleck takes jobs for criminals and even terrorists that want their books clean. And some of them might want revenge on him, but he is not going to take any of that. This movie sees him working with the Treasury Department to take down a human trafficking ring, and he needs help from his brother, played by John Bernthal. This movie is an improvement over the first one because the first one barely had any interaction between Affleck and Bernthal. As a matter of fact, it was a huge twist at the end that the two were the adult versions of the brothers that we'd seen in flashbacks throughout the film. But this one, takes a step up by letting them play off of each other and squabble, and they have really good chemistry. Okay. So it's a step up over the first one. The action in this one, though, is a mess, especially when it comes to the plot of this human trafficking ring. There's no memorable villain here. At least the first movie had John Lithgow getting a few good one-liners, but both of these movies need to step up their game as far as plot in the future. However, this one is a step up from the first one because we get some funny interactions between Affleck and Bernthal.
And it's kind of more of a buddy comedy almost, like they play off of each other more comically, right? Or is it's not too serious, is it?
When they're together, no, it's not too serious, and especially Bernthal has funny things to say most of the time.
All right, a final grade for The Accountant 2.
I give this one a C. It's probably realistically more of a C minus, but I wanted to reward it a little for stepping up its game after the first one.
Okay. All right, our next one catching up here is Until Dawn. Tell us about this movie.
This is a horror movie about a group of friends who go looking for one of the members' missing sister. The plot takes them to a remote, I would say, not really cabin, but a welcome center that hasn't been used in years. And the five of them find themselves hunted down, only to awaken and realize that they've been given new life, only to get killed again and be stuck in a vicious cycle of getting killed and reawakening in the same place. They realize that there's something long-term going on. They also realize that they only have a certain number of times they can get killed before they die for real. So they have to figure out a way to break the vicious cycle.
Okay, so something original, something a little bit newer here, and not the traditional sequel fest here. But is Until Dawn worth watching here for people that are looking for something different?
I do not believe so. First of all, I don't like it when horror movies take on the time loop thing. I know it was kind of funny in Groundhog Day, but I was never into the Happy Death Day movies.
Okay.
Although those at least had an interesting protagonist and a good sense of humor, this one doesn't. It just is an excuse to be violent and have a lot of chase scenes, but there's no style to it, and none of the characters are very interesting. I understand it's based on a video game. I've never played this game. I don't know the background of this game, but apparently a lot of fans of the game are unhappy. So it doesn't seem like it's even really appealing to them. I give it a D.
Okay. All right. So something definitely to skip. Maybe something to not skip this weekend. We have our first big summer blockbuster releasing, Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts. Probably don't need to tell everybody about this one, but give us the behind the scenes here. What's this movie about?
Well, this movie reunites a lot of characters that we haven't seen in a while. There's Yelena, the sister of Black Widow, also Red Guardian, the father of Black Widow, although Black Widow, I do not believe, actually appears in this movie.
Mhm.
Then there's the Winter Soldier, played by Sebastian Stan. He's back. Ghost, that we haven't seen since uh, Ant Man and the Wasp. U.S. Agent, that hasn't been seen since The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And Taskmaster, who I don't believe has been seen since Black Widow. I compare this movie a lot to Suicide Squad
Right.
because it's a bunch of characters that need redemption, forming a team. If the team is Suicide Squad, then Taskmaster is the Slipknot
Okay.
of the group. And there's even a their own version of Amanda Waller in play with Julia Louise Dreyfus's uh, DeFontaine. I forget the it's a long name, but her last name is DeFontaine.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
we've seen this
she's
formula
she's
before.
kind of responsible for this group coming together, even though she doesn't do it deliberately like Amanda Waller does.
Okay. Okay. So something, I mean, obviously, at a certain point, Marvel's going to run out of ideas probably for stories, and they're going to pull from the well of comic book superhero movies. And obviously, this, like you mentioned, Suicide Squad. There's been two iterations of Suicide Squad. One not good, and one actually pretty solid, I thought. Where we bring these ragtag groups of people together. Is Thunderbolts successful? Has Marvel maybe gotten back on track after a couple of duds here in this latest phase?
I do not believe so. A lot of people are saying that they have, and if they can find something of value in this movie, that's great. I do not believe they have. I think they just came up with a C-level project to string together some C-level characters and just kind of just
Yeah.
kind of get rid of them in the course of one movie.
All right. What's your
They're
final?
not necessarily going to get rid of them,
All right.
but just kind of use them all at once so they don't have to come up with individual projects
Right.
for them.
Right. Okay. What's your final grade for Thunderbolts?
Um, C minus with an asterisk because we
Okay.
need to talk about the asterisk in the film's title.
Yeah. Tell us
Um,
about that.
okay, so apparently once you see the movie, you're supposed to call it by something else going forward.
Okay.
I am not going to get into this practice. I'm hoping that it doesn't catch on, but I have seen online that a lot of fans are calling it by a different title going forward, which is what they want them to do. If any franchise can do this, it's the MCU. Can pull this off, it's the MCU. But I'd like to see them not pull it off because I don't like the idea of just changing a title at the retroactively.
Yeah. I guess we could probably spoil it because I think Sebastian Stan has been putting up posters of this new title. Am I?
Okay.
Am I?
Apparently once you see it, you're supposed to call the movie The New Avengers.
Right.
Which, first of all, I don't think these characters are interesting enough to
Yeah.
carry the Avengers name going forward. I understand Falcon is trying to put together a team that he wants to call the Avengers. I know um, the girl from the Marvels, I think her last name is Singh. I think she was trying to put together a group, and I'd love to see her as the head of a group, maybe called the Avengers.
Okay.
I don't think this group makes for a good set of new Avengers.
Yeah, probably not. But and also too, it's a fun little marketing post movie release. But I also feel like if they're doing that to try to dredge up interest in the movie, why not just call the movie the New Avengers with the asterisks by it? because maybe more people might have gone to the theater to see. Now, I'm not saying it didn't make any money. It made, good enough money, but
Oh yeah, it's gonna keep doing big business through the next two
sure.
weekends because there's like nothing coming out this weekend. Everything wanted to run away from it. The weekend after is just Final Destination. It'll beat that.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously you kind of teased it a little bit there. What's on the horizon? I know we're probably going to take a couple of weeks off to let some movies pile up here.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna want to wait till after Memorial Day with Lilo and Stitch and the new Mission Impossible. Also, I'm personally taking a vacation, so I'm gonna miss a big chunk of time.
Okay.
So we'll meet again after Memorial Day.
All
After which
right.
there will be
Well,
hopefully some nice big blockbusters built up.
absolutely. Well, we hope you have a great vacation, Bob. As always, we appreciate you stopping by. We thank you for all your fun takes, and we also can't wait to hear what you have coming up on the horizon after the holidays. So, Bob, as always, thank you for stopping by. We hope you have a great time at the movies, and we will see you next time.
Thank you very much. This is the highlight of my week.